All right, peace and love, world. Welcome to another episode of Conversation with Zoe. This is episode 98, Turn2Piniero. We got my guy, Jonathan Piniero here. He's my guy. He's my teammate. What's the word, baby? How you doing? So good to see you. How's everything?
Everything's great, man. I'm just happy to be here. This whole experience, this whole thing right now, like, honestly, I'm trying to still take it in right now. Like, the whole setup and the conversation we're having. And just seeing each other for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, we've known each other since we were 14. You know, we lost a lot, we won a lot. You know, the beautiful thing about just seeing how we were able to, you know, take those losses but learn from them and just continue to get better. I think the difference between the team we had and the teams we played against, like the youth service and the Grays and all those guys, I think some of those guys individually had great careers, but as a team, I don't think they continued to get better. And I think that's what made us, like 17, 18, the Bonnies, that team was unreal.
Yeah. Those were fun. You know what? Like when I think back of our team though, like my like forever memories when we were in Boston.
Yeah.
You remember? Yeah. And we still got that on tape. And we had like Walker.
Yeah.
Right. We had Andrew Akindo, Lou Rios, you, Rob, and we had Rob on the mound bases loaded.
Bases
we came
loaded.
back.
Turn a double play.
It was crazy.
It's crazy. You know.
That was like that to me is like. When I like look back at like baseball, like good memories, like good experiences, like that one's like one I can't forget. Like I just go crazy for it. Like that's what like we played for, you know? Like when you win a game like that, you go fucking nuts with your boys. Like
I mean, we were definitely not. I don't think anyone had us penciled in to win that tournament.
No, you know, not going in, especially now.
We were losing 10-4, you know, in that game, you know, and I think the third baseman was going to Vandy or something like that.
Nah, that was the next year. That was in the next year. That was the next year. That next year we got smoked.
We got smoked. Yeah, we got smoked.
We honestly got smoked.
Yeah.
But it was that tournament before we played that team they were from New York.
Yeah.
I forgot, they were like Stony Point or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
But it was good though. We definitely did our thing.
But the year before they had that kid that was going to Vandy and they had a kid going to Wake.
Yeah, when they hit those runs. What was that left-handed kid we had? You had like a left-handed pitcher?
We had Kevin. Kevin.
Yeah, you got whew.
Yeah, he needed to ice
that
his
ball
neck
just
after.
landed.
But he's doing good. I think he's doing good.
Yeah, he's doing really good. So tell the world who you are.
So me, I'm Jonathan Piniero. Grew up in Brooklyn my whole life, 15th Street, right a couple blocks away from Prospect Park and Parade Grounds, where like we had a bunch of our childhood together.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I'm a kid that grew up playing sports my whole life.
Yeah.
I loved it. I found the love for baseball around 13 or 14 years old. That's when I like realized that like I love baseball. This is what I want to do for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
And at the time, of course, I wanted to be a professional. I wanted to play pro ball.
Yeah.
I went to Bishop Ford High School, where I played 3 years varsity there. Then I went on to LIU, where I ran track and played baseball for 2 years. And then my last 2 years, I just ran track. So I was a dual sport Division I athlete at one point. Then after college, I did 2 years of indie ball, 1 year in the Empire League and 1 year in the Thoroughbred League. And then I started teaching, and now I'm coaching, and I'm doing baseball and everything I ever wanted to do, really, honestly, just for a long time. Like, baseball has provided so much for me. So right now I'm in a place where, like, I could do that for kids, and I want to try to maximize that experience for them. Yeah,
absolutely. So we got Turn2Piniero, head coach of the Varsity John Jay Campus High School Jaguars.
Yeah.
Right, so he's here. So you're the first head coach on Conversation with Zoe.
Yeah.
Right?
That's great. Yeah.
Right. Co-head coach, head coach, tomato. You're the head coach today. You're here. You're representing. I'm super excited because, you know, I love baseball. It literally took me around the world. Yeah. I'm wearing my jersey. This is my jersey that I played in Europe. Sweat Cop Blue Bats. You know, I was wearing this. Last time I wore this jersey, it was in a championship game where we won.
So it was a good memory.
So it was a good memory, you know. Gotta have to bring it out, you know, for the baseball. So I want to start here, and then we're gonna go. Is Mike Trout boring?
Hell no.
Why? Move your mic closer.
If you don't like baseball, then I guess you could say he's boring because he's not like this flamboyant out there guy. But if you know anything about baseball, there's no way that guy's boring. Like, he's hitting 30 bombs, he's swiping 30 bags, he's making web gem plays. Like, he's a player you want to see, and like, if he's on the field, he's the best player in baseball right now, in my opinion. Like, you know, of course.
Of course.
But like, I didn't always feel that way. Like him and Bryce Harper came around at the same time, and I'm a big Bryce Harper fan, and I still am.
Yeah.
But like Mike Trout, like there's just like if he retired right now, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Like that's how good he is. That's crazy.
Yeah. Is it good for baseball that Ohtani is the face of baseball?
I think so, absolutely. Because actually messing around with my boys that I play softball with, Monsters Inc. softball, Monsters Inc. football, the stuff you see me doing on the weekends all the time. Those are my boys that I talk sports with, and we were talking like, oh, who's gonna be on the cover of the show?
Yeah.
Like, you know, a couple months back, and I'm like, yo, if baseball doesn't pick Ohtani, like, it's silly on their part. Like, he checks every box for you. Like, you know, he's an international player.
Yeah.
Obviously he's an international player, so he comes from Japan. Like, you know, you're bringing more cultures into baseball, and it's a face that like we're not used to seeing here in America be the face of baseball. You know, it's either someone for us, like, you know, it's either like, you know, a white dude, a black dude, or a Hispanic dude. Now we finally have like a Japanese guy on there. We're checking different boxes. Yeah. So like, I think that's great for baseball. That's ultimately what you want. But it also makes the competition harder for players here, because now it's an international game. Yeah. With every sport, basically.
I feel that. All right, so we're gonna get into. I know these amazing people, but impact your parents had on your life.
Oh man, so like for me, I think I try to embody everything my parents are, and that were who they were for me. So like, I kind of joke around with this all the time, and I'm kind of serious at the same time. So like, Hardball, you remember the movie Hardball, right? Keanu Reeves and the team from the hood in Chicago. So like at the end of that movie, he talks about this speech about like the most important thing in life is to show up. Yeah. Like, you know, I'm amazed at your ability to show up. So when I think of my parents, I think of that same thing. So like, middle class family. My dad was very hard-nosed on me, but he was always there. Like, I love you know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what, like, it didn't matter what was going on in the day. Like, the man got up at 4 a.m., went to work, got back at 4, picked me up, took me to baseball. Same thing with my mother. Like, so, you know, like, there was a whole process to me growing up. Yeah. So it wasn't just them raising me. Like, they would take me to my grandparents' house. Then they would take care of me. Parents would go to work, pick me up, go do baseball, come home, help me study. Like, so all those things, like for my parents, in terms of like what they told me like it's super important to show up for people and be good to people. Yeah. So like all those things, like I try to embody of them, and they taught me that, because, you know, like they brought me everywhere. They gave me every experience that they could possibly give me based on what they had. Yeah. And I gotta say, I maximized all those opportunities as best we can, like as best I can, going to college, getting to experience, like, you know, being in college, be away for 4 years with friends, make memories, not just athletically, but socially. Yeah. Helping me grow into, like, an adult. Yeah. You know, all those things. And constantly just finding ways to be there, you know? Yeah. Like, even right now, me coaching, they'll come to my games that I'm coaching. Yeah. And they'll talk to me at home about my games that I coached with the kids. Like, how's this player look? Or how's that player look? And, you know, that goes a long way, because they just find a way to be there. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people need, just someone to be there, someone to show you love, talk about the things you want to be passionate about. And that's what they've done for me, and I'm forever grateful for that, honestly.
No, that's amazing. I definitely wanted to highlight them. I slept over your house a couple times. Just because it was, like, the Bronx is mad far, bro. Like, we're playing Friday nights, got doubleheaders Saturday morning, and it's just like, I remember asking her dad, he's like, of course, like, you know, why not? Make it, and it was just like, that little 2 hours, 3 hours more of sleep makes such a difference, bro. Yeah. Like, me, Rob Giordano, all of us, bro, we're leaving the Bronx at 7:30, bro. Like, you guys are still asleep by the time we had enough.
Yeah, and I don't live far from the clubhouse, so I was like 5 minutes.
I was just like, I'm going to shoot my shot, and, you know, your parents opened up the doors for me, so shout outs to them. Your dog's name is Chico.
No, Scrappy.
Chico Scrappy, one of those. How's Scrappy doing?
Some type of Mexican name that we give it. Scrappy's doing great, man.
How old is Scrappy?
Scrappy is 10 years old, like human years, because I got him when I was 18. Okay. So I'm 28. He's actually he's 11. Yeah. I got him in February. Yeah. And his birthday was in January, so he's technically 11, because I'm about to turn 29 next week, because my birthday's on the 23rd.
Beautiful.
So he'll be 11 years old in human years. It's going a long time, and he's still like, He's still mad energized. He's in good health. So I think he's still got I don't know what it is in dog years.
Yeah.
But human years, 11.
Yeah, but he's loved, though. He's loved, well taken care of.
Yeah, my dad can't get enough of him. That's my dad's guy now.
Absolutely. So we're always students before we're athletes. So how much do you value education?
Being that I am a teacher myself, I do value it.
Yeah.
And it's just important to have open because it just provides other opportunity.
Yes.
Now, I'm not, I mean this in the best way possible because, like, for me, I was a good student, but I wasn't, like, the best student. Like, I struggled in subjects. Like, I was really not good at math. I struggled with some things in English, but, like, I still gave, like, a really good effort.
Yeah.
You know, my parents still held me to a standard. And, you know, to obviously play on sports and go to college, like, you need to hit these benchmarks so that you could ultimately play and stay on the field.
Yeah.
And if you don't really apply yourself, like, when you get to those points as a player or as a student athlete, like, it's going to come back and police itself.
Yeah.
Like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, you know, in high school, especially in New York City, like, you may get away with a couple things because you're good at a sport or a thing, and that happens. And, you know, I'm not trying to condone that, but it's reality's reality. Like, some kids could just skate by based on their talent, and then when they get to the school, and it's not someone that they're used to, it's a different coach, different figure, different mindset, different style of thinking, and they could find 30 other guys that could do exactly what you could do. You're no longer valuable. So what's your value? So what's your value? And your value is what you know. So if you could be that guy and educate yourself a little bit for yourself athletically or academically, like, you're just setting yourself up for more success. So
absolutely.
I can't stress enough to my athletes to constantly do well in the classroom and do well on the field because they both go hand in hand.
Yeah. How'd you end up going to Bishop Ford?
I ended up going to Bishop Ford because my brother was going to Bishop Ford, but one of my resulting factors, and this is another conversation we could have about high school baseball, but like, I was going to go to Catholic school regardless. So it was either like Xavier, Severian, Bishop Ford, and St. Edmund. And I really want to go to Severian when I was like 7th and 8th grade because Severian was nice. And even to this day, they're still a really good baseball team. Like, we just played them on Saturday, and they beat us, and they're a really good ball club. But I really wanted to go there, but you know, there was a lot of good players going there. Like, at the time, they had like Tony Nunez, they had Gabe Hernandez, they had Kev Martir, they had Elvin Soto, like these names of the time that when we were there. I wasn't starting over these dudes. Like, that's just reality. So I decided to go to Bishop Ford, which had a good team, but like was on the fence. But I knew I would have an opportunity to develop and play. And that's ultimately what happened. Like, you know, I got an opportunity, I got better, and I really worked hard to get better. And I ended up playing really well, and then it got to the point where I was just shocking people left and right. Even when you first met me with the Bonnies, everybody's like,
I was always a fan of you, though, bro. You know, I'm a visionary, bro. I always saw because, you know, Bill was our coach, then Mike was our coach. And honestly, Luis Rios, I love you, but you got brick hands, bro. You just do.
He plays the outfield.
You're an outfielder, bro.
We have a game later.
Like, that's where you belong.
We have a game.
You know what I'm saying? But, bro, you got brick hands, bro. Like, you know, if Shaky was a person, it was you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could all say it. So when you know,
I can't wait to show this to
you know, I was one of the big dogs on the team. So I was like, yo, Piniero is the guy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, his arm strength. I'm like, yo, listen, he gets rid of the ball quick. He gets it to me. I'm the first baseman. So I know all you guys better than anyone. Like, I know who's going to get me the ball, but I'll first know who's going to make the play. And Piniero's going to make the play. So that's why I was for sure bet on you. So before we get into it a little more, so you develop your arm strength. And that was one of the things that stood out to me the most, was how it wasn't that strong and got stronger. How did you do that?
So this is like when I hit the transition of like, I really needed to get better much faster. So when I was like a sophomore going into junior year of high school, I was like on the fence going up and down between like varsity and JV. But I really couldn't start on varsity, so they kept me on JV. And when I became a junior, one of our players ended up getting hurt, and we had to move the kid that plays shortstop to catch. And so it left an opportunity for me to start at shortstop. And one of the things my varsity coach told me, he was like, yo, if you're going to be my starting shortstop, I need you to get rid of the ball no matter what, because my arm strength was a liability. And my strength wasn't going to be letting it rip. It was going to be getting rid of the ball.
Yeah.
So I beat that into my habit of just constantly having quick hands, and he constantly worked with me, Coach Mike Hanrahan, who I actually saw earlier today. He coaches at Farrell now.
Yeah.
But so like they beat that into me, and I worked really hard at just getting rid of the ball. All types of things, like glove side ground ball, getting rid of it, backhand, get rid of it, two hands, get rid of it. Like just every type of ground ball, I always focused on getting rid of it, because at the time when I was a junior, I had Esteban Gomez at first base, who got drafted out of high school. You threw it in the ballpark, it's an out.
Like, he's left-handed too.
Yeah, you didn't need to worry about it. So that was super helpful. And so then going into that senior year, you know, like after learning to get rid of it so quick, and I finally got to mature just like a little bit, like, you know, and get a little stronger. Then I started throwing the ball a little harder, but I really didn't start throwing the ball hard across the diamond till maybe like sophomore year of college. Yeah. Like that's when it really hit, because then we played that summer again together, so you got to see it back.
I saw it. So, bro, from 15 and on, I saw it. Every year got better. Every year got better. Every year got better. And I was growing in the game, and we were all getting ready to go to college. So going back to your education, attaining your master's.
Yeah, that was huge.
So proud of you for that. Congratulations.
Thank you. I actually technically have 2 of them. But
Turn2Piniero.
Turn 2. We got 2 masters technically.
Turn 2 masters, right?
So for me, as soon as I finished like my bachelor's, I still wasn't really sure like what I was gonna do. Like originally when I first went to school, I thought I wanted to do physical therapy. Yeah. And then like I did like observation for hours, and I realized like physical therapy wasn't kind of for me. It was more dealing with like old people, and that wasn't like my vibe. It wasn't my energy. So I decided to go to get my master's in kinesiology and movement of the body, just in case I still wanted to do PT or some type of training. That's what I did. Yeah. And then in the middle of doing my master's, that's that first year, one of my professors, Spatz, who was like the head of department at LIU at the time, he mentioned to me about doing phys ed, that they would enter like a phys ed master's program. And then I became interested in it because I just started coaching at Lincoln that same year. Yeah. So I started to learn more about the phys ed world and the education world, and I just got a part of the DOE, and I was substitute teaching. Yeah. And I got to learn a little bit more about coaching in the high school level. Yeah. And then I was like, yo, this is what I want to do. So then I ended up finishing my master's degree with kinesiology. Yes. And I still had to do another 1.5 years to get my phys ed master's degree. Yeah. So I ended up doing a dual program that they had, and I completed that. So I ended up getting like my master's degree, master's in kinesiology, and a bachelor's in sports science. Beautiful. So in terms of the sports world, I would like to say I'm pretty educated on it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not only played at a high level, but educated and learned at a high level, which is all about, you know, because it's about longevity. And not every athlete who played a sport can actually coach. You know, because sometimes the information doesn't really translate well. Sometimes maybe guys or girls don't have the patience, or maybe it's just not for you. Maybe you're just not good with children or the youth, or whoever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, as a coach, you have a responsibility for who your players become. You know, or if you care that far into it, which I think most coaches should or do. And it's deeper than just, you know, hitting ground balls and hitting fly balls and throwing BP. Like coaching is way more.
You got to connect. You got to connect.
Relationships matter.
Connecting goes a long way, and I feel like I try to play that to one of my strengths. And this goes part of like learning of coaching and just growing with the game. Like, you know, originally when I first started coaching, like I was always playing like the friendly role with my players. You know, trying to get on their good side so that they would be more willing to do what I asked. Yeah. And then, you know, I started to shift gears where it's like I still need to create discipline for these kids. Yeah. And I needed to learn that as a coach. And as I developed that, then I got really much better at coaching and building the same connection I already have. Yeah. So like, you know, you deal with different type of coaches. We had the coaches that screamed at you. Yeah. We had the coaches that, you know, talk to you. It's all about your method. And I would like to think that I'm one of the coaches that would like to speak to you, and I don't need to yell at you. Yeah. I'd rather you be upset if I say I'm disappointed in you. Yeah. Like, you know, I think that works deeper with players now. Yeah. If I could look at a player and be like, yo, I'm disappointed in you, and he hears those words out my mouth, then he knows he messed up. Yeah. And even when I do yell, I still yell Now, like, I do flip out. I've still had some moments, right? Like, I'm not saying I don't yell.
Yeah.
It does happen, but that just comes with being competitive and expecting the best from your players. But when, like, real big mess-ups happen, whether it's off the field, on the field, you know, anything relating to your life.
Yeah.
When I could say I'm disappointed in you, like, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that's important for players to hear.
Yeah.
And just students in general, because kind of like the conversation you were having with your guy before, like just holding people accountable.
Shout out to Billboard Benny.
Yeah. And holding those players accountable is a part of the emotions of baseball.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to learn your failures. What are you going to do when you suck? Like, are you going to get better? Are you going to, you know, what are you going to do when you fail a test? Are you going to try to get better? Or are you going to just fold over? It's the same with hitting.
Yeah.
You went 0 for 1 on your first day, but you're going to let it dwell, or you're going to come back and go 1 for 2. Like, which guy are you?
Yeah.
So, if you can't be that guy, then I'm going to be disappointed in you. Like, I expect you to be a dude. I expect you to be a stud. That's kind of the standard I hold for my players.
Yeah.
Like, you could be the cool kid. I want you to be yourself.
Yeah.
I want you to have fun. I don't want you to feel like pressed when you're around me or on the ball field. I want you to be nice and loose. This is your sanctuary. You should love this. But there's still a standard you got to hold to be a quality man and be a quality player, you know? That's ultimately what it comes down to.
For me as a coach, I call it positive aggressive. Like, I am being aggressive, but I'm also being positive as I can be at the same time. Yeah. Like, I may be shouting, but nothing bad or derogatory is coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm really, really passionate and really, really competitive, and I know what you're capable of, and I see your potential. Even my 11 years old, like any situation that happened in this game is not a situation that I didn't put you in practice.
Yeah.
So this is when it's time for you guys, right? Because I can only do but so much.
Yeah.
You guys have to apply what we're talking about in practice, right? And if you don't understand, say you don't understand, right? But don't leave it to the fire on and you're in that moment to panic.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So I try to have more high-level competitive practices so that way in the game, you guys are more free-flowing because this is normal. I know this feeling.
Yeah. We're trying to slow the game down. That's what practice is, right? You're just trying to slow everything down.
Sir.
So I totally agree with that.
Yes, sir. So track and field, multi-sport athlete in college.
Yeah.
Right? How was running in college?
Yo, honestly, man, it was brutal. Yeah. It was rough. It was hard, man, because it's just not easy. Like, I talk about it all the time. Like, I played every sport growing up. I played football. I played basketball. I played baseball. I ran track. I did every sport. And, you know, I like to think I played every sport at a pretty, like, serious level, especially, like, youth level, especially in high school. But nothing was like track practice. Like, track practice was brutal, man, because, like, you straight up come there to run.
Yeah.
Like you know, like when you showed up late to Bonnie practice and you had to run and you were stressing, like that's what track practice is. You just show up and you gotta run, but it's hard. But one thing track did do for me, and I'm forever grateful for it, is it made me mentally tough. Like, you have to be. And I was a long distance runner, so I was running for miles and for days. Yeah. So to like have that, like,
how many miles?
I mean, a good training day, like a good training week, you would run on average from between 40 to 60 miles in like a good cross country week. Yeah. Like during the week. So like that involves running twice a day, whether it's 3 and 7 miles, switching whether it's the morning time or the afternoon time. Yeah. And then mind you, I was playing baseball. Yeah. So I would run, I would wake up like a LIU day my freshman year, like peak LIU is wake up, 5:30 a.m. lift for track and field. But it started at 6, so I had to run at 5:30. I would have to get like 3 miles in with my roommate Elijah. We'd run 3 miles, boom, go to weight room, 6 a.m., weight room, done. Probably 7:30, go to the calf, eat, go to class till about 12. Boom, your next practice in the afternoon for track and field. Run again, whatever it may be, 7 to 8 miles. Finish that, eat, maybe have a night class. If I didn't have a night class, I needed to get my baseball work in. So I would meet up with Johnny Hernandez, who was one of the assistant coaches at the time at LIU, and I would hit from like 6 to 7:30 or 6 to 8. Yeah. And then I would go back, eat, and then chill for a little bit, play some 2K with the boys, wake up, do it all over again. Yeah. And that was like like 4 or 5 months when you first months of school, like that's what it was like. 6 a.m. Boom, 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 3 practices a day. Boom, 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 plus school.
Yeah.
So it's a lot if you don't manage it right. And luckily for me, I just had the right group of kids I hung around.
Yeah.
And we all helped each other like do better, whether it was academic, whether it was socially, whatever. So we kind of kept on each other's case academically, which was great. Because, you know, you could easily lose track in college. Easy.
Yeah. I've seen it.
Super easy.
You've seen it. End up with a 1.5 out here.
Yeah. It could happen real easy. But luckily for me, like the guys I was around, my track teammates, a lot, you know, like, you know, they'll all be at my wedding.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
And my boy Elijah Taylor, we went to high school together. We were roommates all through college. Like those experiences, track and field, even though it wasn't my favorite sport, it's not what I love.
Yeah.
Because I love baseball. But it still provided experiences for me in life that, I got to be grateful for.
Yeah, for sure. What makes a good teammate?
Oh, to me, it still goes into, like, what I feel about coaching. Being a good teammate is just being a guy, like, just being there for your guy.
Yeah. Good,
bad, high, low, mid-level, like, whatever it is, like, just being there for your guy. He needs you to be his hype man, you're his fucking hype man. He's upset. And he needs someone to just, you know, feel upset with real quick. All right, and then try to pick him up. I'll try to be that.
Yeah.
I think that's what a good teammate is. And I feel like my parents taught me that, like just caring about people.
Yeah.
And you know what it's like to be with a teammate with me. You know, players asking you, what am I doing wrong in my swing? Just helping them in the game.
Yeah.
Or just keeping them relaxed.
Yeah.
Being a good teammate is being a good friend, and those are my values. So, like, I value those things. I think being a quality teammate is huge. Because then it plays in the workplace. Like, if you're a quality teammate, you're probably a good person to work with and be around. And it makes the energy better. Like, you don't want to be the person on the team that people don't want to sit around or, like, give bad juju. You know, people have their things. Like, their superstitions baseball-wise. All right, go do your thing in that corner. But for the most part, like, when you're chilling with your boys, like, you want it to be that.
Yeah,
like,
and I think that's what made our Bonnie team so special.
Yeah, we were crazy.
We were crazy, but we loved each other so much. Yeah. You know, we spent so much time together. You know, going to Tennessee and Boston and tournaments and, you know, seeing us getting mercied in 2 hours and then now doing the mercying. Like, you appreciate baseball when you're on both sides of it. Yeah. When you've taken your losses, but you've also taken your wins. Yeah. And you take them both with grace, you know, because especially when you do it with your guys, you know, because we took them together. You know, it wasn't an individual loss. We all lost, you know, but I feel like that off the field chemistry that came on the field, that's what changed things so much for us. Yeah,
and that off the field chemistry played when we played like really, really, really good teams. Because you like look at travel baseball now, right? Like, so like they'll get players from like, even back then we would play teams that would get like guys from Massachusetts, a guy from Pennsylvania, a guy from here, and like you really look at our team, it's literally just dudes from the 5 boroughs. We had like 4 kids from the Bronx, we had 5 kids from Brooklyn, we had like 4 kids from Manhattan. We had
Dave from Staten Island.
We had Dave from Staten Island. Right, we had dudes from like all over the place, all different types of like mentalities, just street life, like everything. Like everybody just came from a different upbringing, and like, but when we played together, like it was fire because we played with like an energy, a chip, and we knew to beat these like really, really good teams that like, you know, now with social media, kids, which is great for New York City baseball, kids could get seen a lot more. But when we were playing, it wasn't big. Like people didn't want New York City baseball players. Like, they had this bad impression of us. And necessarily our team wasn't like that. Like we played hard, we played
We were all
chippy.
good kids. We were
a little cocky, but
we were.
But who isn't?
But who isn't though? And when your work ethic matches it, you know what I'm saying? Like we're winning games, still running laps in parking lots. Like you would have seen us working, you would have thought like, wow, that team really needs to get better. Not knowing we were a top tier team, still being humbled. You know, shout out to Coach Mike.
Making us run at 6 a.m.
Absolutely, bro. Like, I remember those parking lot suicides. It's crazy. You know how big those parking lots
party time. He's still doing it.
What? I mean, shout out to Coach Mike, man. Barry Larkin or Ozzie Smith?
I'm an Ozzie Smith guy.
Why?
My man has 14 gold gloves, bro. You can't beat that. But also because like even in high school, like when I knew I wanted to like be coaching and I just loved learning about the game. I remember seeing like at the time MLB Tonight, before they had the MLB Network.
Yeah.
You know, they had those diamond demos.
Yeah.
And they would get like players to talk about. So one time
Yeah.
Ozzie Smith was on there.
You showed me it. That's why I brought this up.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So like he talked about fielding ground balls and like what made him good. And Ozzie Smith, like I didn't know about him, but people would say like he didn't have a great arm. So like I felt relatable to that.
Yeah.
And he talked about fielding ground balls and the importance of like your footwork and getting rid of it. But one thing that like what I thought was fire, because he played on an AstroTurf field, and I preach it now with my players, he's like, when I get a backhand, I throw it straight in the turf. And like at the time, I never heard that. I was like a junior in high school. I'm like, what does it mean he throws it straight in the turf? And he's like, I'll field the ground ball. I'll give it a long hop, no hop. I remember that was the thing. So I say it now, like if you're gonna give a hop, give a long hop, so it's no hop. So I would do the backhands and then start throwing it in the turf. And he said he would practice that. So you're hearing a major leaguer with 14 gold gloves. He's like, oh, I don't need to throw a hose across the diamond. I just need to give this guy a long hop and it's an out. And I get the result I want. So I like that. And then I kind of embodied that, like trying to be quick. And that's why I take Ozzie Smith over Barry Larkin. Not saying Barry Larkin's not great either.
Jeter or A-Rod?
So... like at what position? At short? Or just they're like
short. Or however you want to dissect.
People want to say that like they'll argue that
or that Jeter never got a gold glove until A-Rod moved over.
Yeah. But I'm a Jeter guy, so I gotta take Jeter just off the respect of being a New York guy, so I gotta go with Jeter. But of course I like A-Rod too. Okay.
Omar Vizquel or Cal Ripken?
I say Omar Vizquel. Only because his hands are elite with the stuff. Nothing. Although Cal Ripken is great too, because with Cal Ripken, you think about his like Ironman record, like the way baseball is now with load management. I don't think that record ever gets broken either now too. But I would say Omar Vizquel, just off of the swag purposes.
Off of the swag. Jimmy Rollins or Jose Reyes?
That's a good one.
I know.
I like that one. I like that one because I want to say Jose and be cheesy because I'm the New York player, but like Jimmy Rollins was a baller.
Jimmy Rollins was a dog, bro. He's a dog.
He's a dog.
Swag too.
Yeah. But he was like OD. He's like OD. Like he was OD with his swag. Like his was like in your face. He had like both wristbands on. He had his wrist tape. He was like excessive, but I'll go with Rollins. I liked him.
All right. So now I know you're Puerto Rican, so I know you know where I'm going with this. You got to rank Lindor, Correa, and Baez.
In any order?
It has to be first, second, and third.
Okay, so I'm throwing my hot takes out here, so I say Lindor's one.
Lindor's number one.
Lindor is one. I would say Baez is two right now, just off Correa with like the injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
Him not being on the field.
Yeah.
But if you take this conversation 2 years ago, I would probably you would flip this whole shit. But for right now, I'd say it's Lindor, Baez, Correa. That's the thing. And then if like you make your infield, it's Lindor at short, Correa at third, Baez at second. Like I don't think you have it any other way too if they were on your team.
That's beautiful.
With the World Classic coming up, that should be the infield. If you really think about it, that's the infield.
Hey, listen,
I'm giving the advice. That's the infield. Oh, if you need me, I'll rip the fungos all day for them.
He'll do it, and BP is money too.
Oh, that's
listen. Hey, I didn't write this, but how was throwing BP to Aaron Hicks?
That was a cool experience.
Shout out to Coach Ferb.
Yeah.
My guy, you got to get on here too. I know he's a busy guy, but we got to get
busy guy. And but that was actually a cool experience. And not gonna lie, my first round to him was god awful.
Yeah.
And it's mad funny because I throw to a lot of pro dudes.
Like who? Can we get a couple name drops?
All right. So I try not to, but you got to. So Josh Palacios, who just got picked up.
Nats. Let's go.
All right. So that's great for him.
Welcome to America.
His brother, Richie Palacios.
Richie Millie. Listen, all those guys are coming on.
Yeah, all parade ground guys too.
Yes,
so
sir.
That's great. Jalen Palmer, who's with the Mets.
New York Mets.
He's from Queens. He went to Holy Cross.
Yep.
Quentin Holmes, who's another Queens dude.
Oh my dog, Indians. Man.
Went to McClancy.
Yeah.
I even got a chance to throw to Jason Pineda, who went to Monroe.
Oh, that's my dog. Padres?
He was with the Padres. I think right now he's in the Frontier League.
Yeah.
But those are just like some pro guys I experienced and some college guys. But like, you know, I had experience throwing to top level guys. And my first round of Aaron Hicks, I was like so pumped to do. I was like, yeah, this is great. And I like didn't throw him a strike. Yeah. So then we had to pick up the bucket. And I was like, yo, my fault, dude. Then I settled in, and then he was just ripping me up. But honestly, man, it was such a cool experience. It was just really cool to throw to a big leaguer. And even now with like Josh and Richie cracking the 40-man. With Josh, I got to see him the other day, and we were talking about it too. Because actually in quarantine, me and him were getting after it. Like we were practicing because he was back home, and we were going to Bay H Street and just grinding. Like me and him, like because he needed to get work, and he was trying to crack the big league roster at the time, but everything was in quarantine. Like no one was working out. So it'd be me, him, Jalen Palmer, and these two college kids that are at CSI cooking up right now. Dom and John Castiglione, my boys, what's up? We basically had like a quarantine spring training. And we were going at it 5 days a week because there was nowhere for them to go. So just being able to like throw to those high level guys or even work those guys out. You know, like that was always the goal for me when I got into coaching. It's like, I want to work with these top level guys because I have the knowledge to do so. And when those guys reach out to me, like, hey, can you throw to me? Hey, can you hit me fungos? Hey, can you look at this and tell me what you think? So when you got professional guys that are getting paid to play this game seeking advice from me, it makes me feel great. Like that's ultimately what I wanted to do with my life. And it's me living the dream. So like, that to me is in itself.
It, bro.
So that experience was awesome.
You deserve it, yo. Like I try to align myself with like-minded people. You know, Turn2Piniero, Coach Piniero, Coach Zoe. Like I think out of all the guys we played with, I think we're one of the very few that actually coach and actually enjoy it. And I think everybody went like corporate America, finance, and we kind of just like. We're doing this youth thing, you know what I'm saying? We've been
doing the sports thing.
You know, so I've been watching. You know, I've always reach out from time to time, no matter how long we go without talking.
100%. We've always kept in touch.
Bro. I'm gonna call you. Like that's just me, bro. Life is really short, and you never know. So I definitely want to give you your flowers, 100%. And I know you're going to love my next question. What makes a good bacon, egg, and cheese?
Oh, ooh. What makes it?
What makes it good? Because I know you had your thing. You were rating it. You were going around eating bacon, egg, and cheese.
So I've been slacking, and I'm going to be back this summer. So Turn 2 bagel review, right? That'll be back. Just because I got super busy, and I really didn't have time for it. I was really grinding with the whole baseball thing and everything. But to me... I like chewy bacon and like greasy bacon, so I don't like it like crazy crispy. I could eat it that way. I don't mind it, but I prefer it to be chewy and greasy because then the fat seeps into the egg. Right? You feel me? And then it tastes much better. You hear me out. I know my friends give me crap about it all the time. I'm not crazy about the cheese. Like if I were to get a bacon, egg, and cheese, I get a bacon and egg. I don't get the cheese. But like someone gives me a bacon and cheese, I'm not gonna not eat it because there's cheese on it. I'll still eat it. But to me, it's the bacon is the most important part to the sandwich. If it's not like, even if you make it crisp, you need that like sizzle for the grease to leak into the sandwich, and it needs to be slutty. I call those slutty sandwiches where it's all messed up. Those are slutty sandwiches. So when you get a slutty bacon, egg, and cheese, that's when you know it's lit. That's the sandwich where it's a little greasy. You biting like, oh. I needed my napkin. That's the one you need. And
are you going on a bagel, a roll? Like what's your
I get it on an everything bagel, automatic.
You my guy.
Everything bagel, automatic.
Oh my God.
If I'm at a deli that doesn't have like I wouldn't suggest to get a everything bagel at a deli. So you always go with a roll, play it safe, get your bacon, get it on a roll.
Because they usually got the rolls that come in the bag.
It's like those packaged stuff. It's not like getting it from a bagel store. That
bagel
makes
spot, facts.
Right? So like there's rankings to it. There's levels to it.
So what's the best bacon, egg, and cheese you ever had?
So for me, my spot is Bagel Pub. Basically free publicity for them.
Free promo. Bagel Pub, you ever want to sponsor the show, let us know. I'm a sausage, egg, and cheese guy's pose, but that's me. You know what I'm saying?
Bagel Pub, it's on 9th Street between 4th and 5th. They actually have a bunch now. They're kind of like franchising. So there's a bunch all over the city now. But them, to me, it's a little pricey. $6 doesn't beat your $3.50 at the deli, but...
It's worth
to me,
it's
worth it. They actually have mad bacon in there. There's actually good egg in there, and they actually put mad cheese. That's one of the few places where I could actually get a bacon, egg, and cheese. Because I know it's good. And the everything bagel is quality, too.
Word.
So that's my spot.
All right. So we're going to tap into coaching. How much has youth baseball changed?
Oh, it's so different, man. It's so different. So I got to take a sip because I'm passionate about the conversation.
You think. That's why, you know what? I had to set you up right, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I got this thing under me. One of our jerseys. Boom.
Absolutely. You see these jerseys?
You see this? These are fire, though.
The gray joint, the white. I like the stitchings, too. That's fire. Nike drip.
But so baseball has changed, especially youth baseball, because now it's really just all about travel ball.
Yeah.
So like I grew up playing kind of, and this type of style of existence doesn't happen anymore. I don't know about you, but I grew up playing in like a parish league that belonged to a church.
Yeah.
It was called St. Bernadette Knights. Right, and I played there pretty much my whole life until I went to the Bonnies.
Yeah.
And you basically play like local parishes. And the travel ball was when you like traveled to play in like the 5 boroughs.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. But now, even at 8U, you got like 8U teams going to like Missouri, Florida, things. And now there's
shout out to the Dream Chasers.
Yeah. Teams like Dream Chasers, teams like EEP that have really good youth teams, New York Prospects, things like that. Now there's just so many travel ball organizations. Like people are not playing like parish or in-house balls. Like you find out you like baseball, you play in-house.
Yeah.
You find out your kid's pretty decent, or, you know, where he's at athletically. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of go into the travel ball.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good and bad thing. My personal opinion is because there still needs to be a place for kids to find out they're good or not good at baseball.
Yeah.
And there's not enough of that in between right now. It's either like kids are really good at baseball or they're not. And those kids that are like in between figuring out where they are, they're getting lost.
Yeah, and they become lacrosse
because
players.
then they don't want to play. Then they don't want to play. Then they don't want to play because like that team's too good. So like there's not enough middle ground.
It gets kind of ultra competitive too fast.
Yes, exactly. That's what I think has happened at the way younger age. I think like 10 and up, like 11 and 12, I think it's fair to be like super competitive because you're about to get to high school. It's about to be the real world. But like for that 10 and down, I still think like, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a stud or I don't care if you're really bad. Like, if you want to play, play.
Yeah.
And figure it out and learn and develop because we got to give kid time for kids to develop. A lot of youth sports now. Yeah. Kids just want, are you good? Are you not?
Yeah.
And we kind of like leave it alone.
I sucked at that. I wasn't even playing baseball, organized baseball at that age. I didn't get onto a team till I was 12. And then I didn't get nice till I was like, well, I got on a team at 11 and I got nice when I was 13 turning 14. So I had 3 years of just being lost. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then I met Miguel Fitch, who's Harold Fitch's dad. Okay. And then I just blossomed. Then I went to Hollows, then I went to Suffield, then I went to college, then I went to pro. So like, but I'm a late bloomer, you know what I'm saying? For sure. Like from the ages of, you know, I was just raw talent, just a big dude, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then.
And me, I would feel like for me personally, I was the opposite. I was just a dude that like works hard. Like I'm gonna do everything right and just wow you with doing so many things right over and over and do it consistently.
Do it consistently. How do you learn as a coach?
Listening to other coaches. So like I am very competitive and cocky in the sense of like I like to think I'm very smart and knowledgeable on the game of baseball.
Yeah.
And
we're geniuses on that field.
Yeah.
Like this is the only place I'll call myself a genius.
Yeah, like I like to feel like I know a lot, but at the same time I'm willing to listen to guys that know just as much or if not more.
Yes, sir.
And just hear their information, even if it's something you don't agree with.
Yeah.
So like when I first started coaching with the New York Prospects, I worked with this man named Greg Belson, who's a very good baseball guy, has tons and absolute tons of knowledge and is really good. He's one year was like, hey, you should come to this coaching convention at Mohegan Sun. Yeah. And I never knew that existed, a coaching convention. He's like, yeah, college coaches, pro coaches, these guys come down and speak and talk about strategies and tips and cues. And I went, and that was like the first time where I looked at, I'm like, yo, coaching is a career. Yeah. Like this could be a path, whether it's like high school coaching. I was only 22 at the time. Yeah. So I was still like learning what I wanted to do. So I basically saw like these college coaches, these pro coaches, these trainers, these, you know, mental coaches, and basically hearing them all speak about the game, like how to feel the ground ball, how to mentally prepare an athlete. and you hearing all these takes and ideas and then trying to mold it to be yourself. That's what makes a good coach. So I think it's important to hear other coaches and hear what they do and what makes them successful. And then you kind of try to take pieces of yourself from their ideas and make it your own so that you could learn. So I would say between 22 and now, I've learned so much. A lot of my philosophy in baseball has changed because I've learned so much from that time.
Yeah. So why coach?
Oh man, because I want to make an impact, and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's just too much fun not to. So like, you know, on my Instagram, my quote is, "If you ain't laughing, you ain't living."
Yeah.
Right. And I like to embody that because like the whole teaching phys ed, I love doing that. To me, it's coaching in a classroom.
Yeah.
And then coaching baseball is just the cherry on top, the icing on the cake, whatever it is.
That's beautiful.
Because like I love this game. I like to think that for the youth and high school kids right now, that not only like am I trying to like show you how to play baseball, but I'm trying to provide you with a professional experience.
Facts.
You know, like I'm not just some coach.
That's the only way you go about it, though.
Yeah,
like you know that,
like
you don't.
Like I'm kids, like yo, I'm gonna train you so that you could be a pro.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know, like whether you're 7 years old or a big leaguer right now, like I'm gonna train you to like the same way I trained that pro guy. I'm gonna train that 7-year-old.
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna give you that same experience, and it might be in a different way. Like,
yes, sir.
You might need a little bit more laughs. You might need a little bit more push.
Yes.
You might need a little bit more drills.
Yeah.
Every kid is different.
Individually.
And that to me is the funnest part about coaching.
Sir.
Seeing the different minds, seeing what works for a different kid, how this kid learns differently from that. And when you're able to balance that and then just have fun with it, it makes it easy, man. Like it's so much fun coaching kids and their experience. And kids are funny, man. Like they say funny shit to you, or and just think like cool memories happen that like you can't make it up. So for me, the why is I want to provide a professional experience for young players so that they could develop and maximize their baseball ability. Yeah. So that's my thing. Like if my high school players right now, like I'm gonna provide you with a professional coaching experience as best I can. Yeah. While doing so, I want you to develop baseball wise as a person. Academically, I want all those things for you. Yes. I just want your best interest. Yeah. But in doing so, we're gonna have a fun time.
Yes, sir.
That's kind of like my thing.
Yes, sir. So let's talk about the state of New York City baseball. Like, where's New York City baseball at right now?
So right now it's at a weird place. So like after COVID, right? Like a lot of good players like either like went to prep school or went to boarding school, kind of like you. Like boarding school is a big thing now.
Facts.
It's huge.
Facts.
And it's helping and hurting at the same time.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, there's some really good talent leaving the city to go to these boarding schools, and there's some kids that genuinely need that environment. Yeah. You could speak on to that, like you know, trying to get out and just do your own thing, be more focused on your academics. There's players just like you that need that right now.
Yeah, I needed to get out, you know, to make it, to fully flourish and just be a kid. Not be so worried or so anxious in the South Bronx. Yeah. So I just needed that calm environment just to be a student athlete and just to be Lorenzo, like just to be Zoe and just chill. Yeah. You know.
So like for high school baseball right now, the New York City public baseball and the Catholic school, there's good talent. There's plenty of good talent, but that like middle spectrum of kids are branching off. Like teams are not put together all the way through. Yeah. There's like 5 or 6 kids on every team, and then like everyone else is on the fence. Yeah. So like, and I think it's because players are, you know, either transferring out or trying to do so many different things. There's just so many different ways to go about baseball now. Yeah. It's not just about high school. Yeah. But I think our talent in New York City is unbelievable right now. Yeah. There's just straight up raw talented kids like that just have tools. Like there's some kid that goes to Inwood. I believe his name is Brian Gomez. I've never seen him play, but he was throwing 95 the other day. Like, that's just raw ability. That's awesome to see. Yeah. And there's plenty of talent like that all across the city.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, like we said earlier, people didn't want New York City baseball players. And I think now, like coaches with social media and things like that, a lot more people want these New York City baseball players. Because, you know, we play with a chip on our shoulder. We got a little way we go about it. But there's a lot of talent here.
Yeah.
And baseball is a sport in New York City. And, like, it's not just a basketball city.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the New York City baseball here is really good.
Yeah.
I just think as a whole, both Catholic school, public schools, prep schools, we need to find a way to like work together to keep exposuring our kids.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just one place to get it done.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways to do it.
Absolutely. So what will players get out of you?
Out of me? Not just me, but like the rest of my staff and what we got going on at John Jay, like Brian Freeman, our athletic director, Coach Andy Santella, who's also one of our assistant coaches. Just out of us, like we work together, right? Coaching wise, we have a plan, we have a strategy, we have philosophies, we bounce ideas off of each other, and we apply those to our players. Like, you know, there's someone to hold them accountable. There's someone to help them develop, and applying all those resources. So like, for these players, what they're going to get out of me is we're going to try to maximize all our resources that we have so that you could become a better player. Like just in our school, we got a brand new weight room with a private strength and conditioning coach that used to play with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like there's not too many public schools that have that.
Yeah.
Catholic or prep schools that have that, you know, and we have that for a public school. You know, being able to practice from fall all the way till spring. And, you know, putting that same time and energy into your development to play on our team, you know. And those times that we're not playing, those are not paid times. That's just because we want you to be really good and we care about you. So, like, for me, what players are going to get out of me, you're going to get my energy. You're going to get my time and you're going to get my focus. You're going to get all of that. And most importantly, you're going to have a fun time. Like, I like to think I have a good time while I'm doing it, making a relaxed environment. But I'm no games about it. I like to be really good. I like to see players get better. There's nothing more fun than taking, like, the average player and seeing them develop.
Love it.
I think it's mad fun for coaching to see kids grow up. Seeing kids go from freshman to senior year, going to college, then see success in college, and then they come back to you and tell you, man, this was so helpful. That's what for me it's about. And so like they're always gonna get my time and my energy. And my time and energy is always gonna be with a genuine heart. Yeah.
That's beautiful. We spoke about, you'll see this on episode 96 with Allie Leffridge. A lot of what she talked about. And
you had Allie on here? I love
you know Allie
I know.
That's my The she was on here. Right? Yeah, come on, bro. Come on, bro. You know we getting there.
Allie's part of Wonder Team, bro.
You know we getting there,
She's part of Wonder Team on my squad. That's mad funny. I can't wait to text her when I get out of here.
You know we getting there. You know
that's mad funny.
She's doing some grant writing for Slice of Excellence.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We connected through her brother, you know, and I mean, a lot of people have had either bad or good experiences because of coaches, you know, and so that's why I take it serious, because I don't want some kid to walk away from a game because he's like, yo, that dude Coach Joe is a horrible person. And children internalize the kind of things that that adults, because you're not only a coach, you're also an adult, that adults say to them, and they internalize, and that becomes their identity. So a coach, she said, I'm going to be an All-American and I'm going to sign a Division I athletic scholarship, and the coach laughed at her, you know, but joke's on him. She became an All-American nominee, and she played D1 basketball. You know what I'm saying? So
right,
it's just like
New Hampshire.
You have to be very careful what you tell kids and what you say and how you act. You know what I'm saying? Because they internalize all these things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very happy that the John Jay Jaguars have a guy in you, because they got a good one. For sure.
I would like to think so. But it's you're right, with those things stick with you. So like personal memory of mine, I had, you know, like I wasn't really getting much playing time when I was in college, and one of the things that the coach told me was, I don't see how you can help us win. And that would for now, that stuck with me for a long time. So, and like you said, it becomes part of your identity. And for me, it was like that's how you feel. Like, I need to show you otherwise. So that kind of motivated me. That's why I went into the indie ball route, because it was like, I need to, all right, like, watch me play on this like professional level and
Yeah.
compete and help a team win.
Yeah.
And then me coaching wise now, more so playing the chess game is kind of the embodiment I have now. Watch me contribute to these players' development and help them win.
Yeah.
You know, so
you're a dog, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't teach that. It's either you got it or you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got that. So I'm a parent right now. I am a parent. I have a son, right? Awesome. Why should a parent trust you and send their kid to play for you?
A parent should trust me because, like I said before, you know, not just me, but anything. I just care about the child's development.
Yes.
I want to make sure that your son has a quality baseball experience, that he's not cheated out of his baseball athletic experience in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And we can maximize his abilities as best we can, right? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whether it's college ball, whether it's just finishing at the high school level, whether it's being able to go on, play professionally, that'd be great. But I just want to maximize that baseball experience for them. Then on top of that, maximize their academic experience, you know? Obviously keep them right in school so that they could go on to college.
Yeah.
And maybe do something professionally that doesn't involve sports. You know, you need that academic part. So that's the second part, and you need someone to get on you on that, because if you're not doing it in the classroom, guess what? You can't play for me.
Yeah.
So it goes hand in hand.
Yes, sir.
Then the third thing is just, you know, like I said before, you're gonna get my time and energy. I'm gonna make sure that we can maximize the opportunity your son is having.
Yeah.
And I want him to have a fun experience while doing so. You don't want it to be a negative experience. And so much of that is based on the school you choose. Like I said before, like I chose Bishop Ford instead of Severian because I knew I would have a chance to develop as a player by being on the field.
Yeah.
And then it ended up working out for me. My baseball career could have been totally different if I went the other way.
Yeah, word.
So it's very important for parents and players to just understand who they are as a player.
Yes.
And where they're at with their skill level and their academic level, so you could find the right fit for a high school.
Yes, sir.
In general, because it's not just my high school. Like I would love for all the talent in the world to come to me.
Listen, we definitely gonna get some talent in the
right?
room.
If you could all come this way, it'd be great.
Yeah.
But it don't need to be just me. There's a lot of good coaches in New York City that have quality baseball programs, both public and Catholic school.
Yeah.
It's just you got to find that right place for you, because if you don't, it could change the whole way you go about your baseball career the rest of the way. And that could change. If your baseball career changes, that means your social career changes and the things you're interested in.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a lot to think about for a parent. It's a really big decision.
Listen, if you still coaching, which you probably will be, you probably be in the pros by then. Hendricks will definitely play for you. Yeah. That's facts. I would let my son play for you. You know what I'm
That'd be
saying?
great.
I know he's gonna be top notch. You know what I'm saying? And parents, you know, he's a good candidate. I definitely vouch for him. Everybody know my word means a lot. And this guy right here, Jonathan Piniero, is a solid guy. You know, and I don't say that a lot about a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, Zoe.
Sure.
That's great. That feels great.
You know what I'm saying? So that played into my next question. That's goals for parents, for your players and stuff. But who's the most underrated defensive guys, and take offense out of the equation, just defense?
Like position-wise?
Position-wise, yeah.
Underrated?
Underrated.
Like no one cares about
Like no one, like because he wasn't the best hitter.
Oh, you're talking about a specific player?
Yeah.
Or like oh man, a specific player that's like, I wouldn't even say he's underrated. Like, I mean, people take for granted like Ichiro was a star defensive player.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, so I would say he's not really underrated when you look at it, but if you watch the game, but people don't know, like Ichiro had a hose. He used to do crazy plays. So I would say he's like an undervalued defensive player. Because you care about all the hits he got.
Yeah.
That would be one guy. Another name I would say, for me, I know this is corny and cheesy, but like Jorge Posada was like a guy that like, he wasn't a catcher.
Yeah.
He ended up catching for the Yankees for a long time, and like he got it done.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't pretty. Like
he wasn't
you're not
pretty.
Going crazy about him, but you know, he got it done. He used to stand with that like old school, like big ass, like legs like this. Like now he used to catch with one knee down this. Jorge Posada was like the old school, like here it is. Like, you know, like throw it right here. But he got it done. So like I would say he's underappreciated.
I love that. You know.
That would
That's
be
great.
a guy.
That's great. All right. Message to your younger self.
Message to my younger self. Don't be so tunnel visioned in the sense of like, don't put your eggs all in one basket.
Yeah.
And I know that's kind of like, you could contradict that and people will say, but then you won't be able to do this. It's like, it's just more so like be open to the ideas that are coming at you.
Yeah.
Don't just take one. Just don't think there's one way to do something.
Other possibilities. Yeah.
There's other routes and windows you could take and lead to the point that you want to get to. Because I thought there would be I would be here in a way different way.
Yeah.
And the path I ended up taking in my life in coaching and even the opportunities in coaching that have been presented to me, I'm grateful for them right now. Like, you know, working with USA Baseball, coaching at the high school level, being offered some job opportunities in different baseball realms. Like that comes with just experience and being open-minded to people and their ideas and philosophies and being a quality teammate.
Absolutely.
So the message to my younger self is just don't be so tunnel vision, be open to people's ideas. Because at first I used to be like, no, I'm going to do it this way. Or, you know, like I had this way of doing it. And then like as I gone on, I became more open.
Yeah.
And it opened more opportunities for me.
Absolutely. Message to the youth.
My message to the youth is maximize your experiences. And what I mean by that is you would know, and of course I would know, is just there's plenty of distractions here in New York City. And there's plenty of distractions all across the world, and there's ways to go about things. You can't maximize your experiences in life if you're doing the wrong shit.
Yeah.
You can't. If you're gonna, you know, if you're gonna get yourself into trouble, like with the law, guess what? You're gonna be in jail, right? Then you want to keep going that route, you might end up dead.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're limiting your experiences, like life and going through it. You know, like having a kid.
Yeah.
Traveling the world. Or playing sports, like those are all experiences and moments. So the only way you get experience and moments is by being present and being able to do it.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what sports did for me. I got to go to Boston. We got to go to Tennessee. That's how I traveled the world. I couldn't afford to just, my parents didn't just say, hey, we're going on vacation here. My travel was with baseball or sports. That's how I got to see the world. That's how I got to get my experience. Yeah. And then it gave me an academic experience, and I maximized my opportunity to try to be successful as I can. And if you're a kid right now and you're not doing the right thing, you're not going to maximize your experience. You know, I work in a high school and I hear kids like, I want to be rich, I want to do this. Guess what? You got to do the right things so you can maximize your experience.
Yes, sir.
Whatever it is. And then the only way you're going to maximize your experience is by doing something you love. Yeah. Right? So find something you love, channel it, find a way to make money off of it, because capitalism is a great thing now.
Yes, sir. Capital gains.
And from that, you'll maximize your experience. You want that new car, you could go get it if you maximize your experience. You want to go to travel out the country, guess what? Maximize your experience.
Yes, sir.
You can't maximize your experience if you're doing the wrong shit.
Yes, sir.
And that's like my biggest message to the youth. Like, if you're not doing the right thing, then you're not going to maximize your life. Yeah. And that's ultimately what I want for every kid.
Absolutely.
Because there's so much experiences in this world that that you don't know, you know? Like I ended up liking country music, right? That was an experience, and I never thought I would. Yeah. You know, I like golf now. Yeah. That's something I never thought I'd experience. You can't maximize those things if you don't try it or you're out there to do it. Absolutely. And I think that's important for the youth. Try new things and maximize your experiences.
All right, last question. Message to the coaches.
Message to the coaches, I'm coming for y'all. Yes. But message to the coaches is, you know, I love this game. I'm sure there's a lot of coaches that feel the same way, and I have a lot of respect for a lot of coaches in New York City. And let's just, you know, let's get the kids better. Yeah. You know, ultimately, at the end of the day, it's not about who gets the credit or who does what. It's, you know, how can I help a kid develop? Yeah. How can I maximize his experience, his baseball experience? And then hopefully that turns them into good quality young men. And for the most part, you're doing your part as a coach. And if we could do that, we're doing great.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. So make sure you follow my guy at Turn2Piniero. Definitely hit him up for workouts. You know, you see he's training top-level guys, but he's open and available to anything baseball-related. Parents, send your kids to John Jay Campus High School. You know, become a Jaguar. You know what I'm saying?
Currently 6-0 to start, right? First year
swaggy,
program.
You know what I'm saying? This could be you. You see yourself in this jersey? I'm saying this could be a commercial for the school. You see yourself in this jersey? Or if you turn away, you can wear the gray.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or you can wear the blue.
You know what I'm saying? When you're feeling blue. Lots of swag. You know what I'm saying? So follow the guy. Make sure you like. Yeah.
If we didn't have the drip,
you know what I'm saying? Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, follow the guy. Go check out a game. Go online, check out the schedule. And thank you for your time, bro.
Yo, I appreciate it. It was awesome.